Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn, and to a bit of a bitzer video today. I'm thinking of it in terms of one of my miniaturists vlogs, mostly because I want to cover a few different things, a couple of projects that won't be featuring here on YouTube, not the making of. I may very well put up a little short showing the final product when it's done, and basically just sort of filling you in on what's going on at the moment. Now, there wasn't a video last week if you were watching this when it goes up, and I didn't think there would be because it was the Easter holidays here in the UK, and with the schools closed, all order goes out of the window. That's all I'm going to say. And I was not going to put myself under the sort of pressure that it was going to take to get a video done and up, because I don't think it was fair on me or on you, because, well, I like to put videos up that I would want to watch, not just videos for the sake of it. That said, this video is a bit, as I say, a bit of a bitzer. I'm going to start with a little haul. Now, this week's video should by rights, if everything had gone to plan, have been the starting point of a new 1/48 scale build. And I will reveal a little later which of the dead end properties I've decided to go with next. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you'll get a little bit of a sneak peek. But I've also got a little bit of a 1/48 scale haul. My birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and as is usual, my husband came to me and said, "What do you want?" And I gave him a bit of a wish list from Petite Properties website. It seemed the easiest way. I didn't need him to go actually shopping, because that could have resulted in a bit of a mutiny on his part. He doesn't like shopping. And I told him to pick some things off the list. And this is what he got. I've got a little pile here. Now, some of these are destined for the next project. Some of them are just becauses, and a couple of others I've got ideas that will fit in somewhere along the line. So we'll start off in the order that they're in the pile, and we've got Peddler's Cart. Nice little kit. This is going to be great for a street, and I am eventually going to have a street for my dead end, so yeah, that will come in handy. This one is the Fireside Settle. Little tiny pieces there. I've got plans for this. I've got a trestle table. It's not the table that I wanted, but when I was making my list, I obviously went by what was in stock, and I can make that work. I've got the Welsh Dresser kit. This, again, it's not necessarily ideal for what I want it for, but I think I can make it work. And it seems like a nice sized piece to go in there. I've got the refectory bench set. This is a pair of benches. They hadn't got the table which I wanted, which was the table that went with it. So I may see if they work with the trestle table. Might work, might not. Now, the corner settle and table kit I actually had in the advent calendar. I don't know which one it was. It was in one of the advent calendars. It wasn't last year's, it was one of the previous ones. And I want to use that kit as is, but I also thought that I might try and kit bash. So we'll see. Might not work, but I got one of those just in case. And then I've got a coffin kit, which I'm doing dead end. I'm going to need coffins at some point. And I just thought it was a fun thing to put on the list. Only a little kit, but it'll be great. Now, this one is very much a bit of a wild card. It's the Retro Caravan kit. Now, this is a kit they do bigger. They do it in 1/24th scale. But this is a kind of caravan that very much reminds me of my childhood. And yeah, I'm going to have a go at doing something with that at some point. Don't know when. You know, it's one of these that it was in stock and I thought, yeah, I like that. And I have seen people do some really good things with them. Abandoned caravans, you know, that sort of thing. But this one, well, it'll be a wait and see. I've got so many houses to build in this scale that it could be a while if I do it on camera. If I don't do it on camera, I will, of course, keep you posted over on Facebook and maybe via shorts. They seem to be quite good for just giving you a quick overview of projects. So that's possibly what I will do. And then we've got this one. Now this one, as you can see, is not in the bag for a very good reason. This is a building in a railway scale. Now this is end gauge, which is 1:148. Now I am informed that if you want to work it out in terms of feet and inches, as in 1/12 is 1 inch to 1 foot, and then 1/24 is half an inch equals 1 foot, and 1/48, it's then a quarter of an inch is equivalent to a foot, or you get 4 feet to the inch. This works out at 2 millimeters to a foot. Yeah, this is actually slightly smaller than what they call doll's house for a doll's house, which is 1:144, which is 1/12 scale in a doll's house. Now, if all that is mind-boggling, you're not alone. I wanted this because many years ago I bought this little tiny vehicle. It is a perfect little replica of a 1950s Land Rover, a very iconic British vehicle that actually celebrates its 75th anniversary this year. I'm not even going to go, oh, I know all this sort of stuff. I can tell you a lot more than that. But I'm not going to. And I bought this as a model to go in the doll's house because it was approximately 1/12 in the doll's house. So it was a good scale for a lot of the larger scale models that were actually about at the time. Although I think the biggest that were really commercially available were about 1/18th scale. This was a bit big, but it worked. And they've been in the doll's house. It's been in the doll's house, along with a couple of other similar vehicles for all this time. But I fancied doing something with it rather than just having it stuck on a shelf in a doll's house. And at the time when I decided I was going to do something, I hadn't thought about it being 75 years of Land Rovers. But kind of appropriate in a weird sort of a way. But I decided I wanted a property and I went for this one, which is a sort of workshop, a mechanic's garage, it could be, that kind of thing. And as you can probably guess, let me just move these out of the way, from the fact that it's not in its bag anymore, I've been working on it. Now this is a project that I'm not doing for YouTube, because it's just such a random scale that I figured it's not really, you know, going to appeal to Doll's House people. This is very different. But I want to show it you now, because I think that you people can actually appreciate the level of detail that still goes into one of these buildings. And believe me, it's a lot. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you'll have seen me working on the 1/48 scale petite properties buildings, and this went together in a similar way, just a lot smaller, and it's also got an incredible level of detail for something that is so small, and I am really impressed with them. Now I'm not going to claim that the brickwork and the tiles are brilliant. I did that myself. I found an image, a free printable image that was 1/12 scale, and downsized it. And that's why the bricks are a little bit out of proportion. But once I dirty it up, which I'm going to do, I don't think that'll be quite so obvious. Same went for the tiles. I did it a similar way. No way was I going to try and make tiles to this scale. Not going to happen. I did, however, make a little piece to make the ridge, just so that it sort of looked quite tidy. And then I've put the building together, and as you can see, hopefully you can see, there's glass in the windows, which was supplied printed with the little glazing bars on there. You know, there's details on the doors. Now, I have altered this one. I have actually altered it so that one of the sets of doors is open, so that I can put my little Land Rover inside. And I also made a little platform to go outside this little door on the upper floor, because I just thought it needed it. And if I actually put it down on here, I can actually very carefully get that into there. If you can see, it actually fits in. And when it's completed, it's going to be displayed part in the building. The building also comes with a hole so you can light it up. And I have tried lighting it up at night, and it looks pretty effective, and I'm sure in a little railway layout that would look superb. But I'm not doing a railway layout, it just happens to be railway scale. I am in the process of making a little diorama with it, and I've got lots of little bits that I've got to put together. Now, if you happen to follow me on Facebook, you will have seen some of this already, because I shared it over there. But one of the first things that I've actually done is I got a 3D printed skip, and I'm working on filling that. There's nothing in there yet, but there will be. And I've bought some other little 3D printed bits. I've even bought some people, and yeah, they're absolutely tiny. I thought when I did that tea set in 1/48 scale, it was small. They are ridiculous. They really are. And I haven't dared take them out the package yet, because I'm sure that they're going to go missing. I only bought 10. I only want a couple maybe to go on my scene, but yeah. So this is my little building which I wasn't going to start this soon, but I took it out of the packet to have a look to see how the instructions said it went together, and got a bit carried away. So that's one project that isn't going to be featured over here, but that I will keep you posted, either in a vlog or, as I say, with a little short, just to show you what it can be done. I mean, that is small enough that it could fit on a table in a doll's house, and that, quite frankly, is crazy. So 1/48 scale, and the third building that I'm going to be doing in Dead End is going to be the Last Breath Inn. So it's a pub. Now, I'm not sure how big this is actually going to be. I think this one is a bit wider than the two that I've already built. But as you can see, I haven't taken it out of the bag or anything yet. There's a lot of little pieces. I hate painting those little pieces. As much as I love the detail, I hate painting them. That was the great thing with that really tiny house. I did all the little pieces with an alcohol marker. But anyway, this is going to be the next one. And obviously, I know I'm definitely going to have the pub on the ground floor. What I will have upstairs, I don't know. I may have a room that's like a hotel room, maybe, don't know. I might have two rooms that are like hotel rooms. I may go for something a little bit more risque, which if I do, I won't be adding all the finishing touches to the house on YouTube. Those details will be on my Facebook page, but I don't know yet. Until I put it together, I'm not 100% sure. But I think this is going to be a nice one to do, and I need to decide what it's going to be called, because obviously it's the Last Breath In, but it looks like there's a sign there, so I could alter it around when I come to that, and I'm looking forward to it. I do like working in this scale. I love working in 1/12 scale. I love that it is possible for me to make so much more in 1/12 scale, and I have the utmost respect for anybody who makes stuff in the smaller scales with the level of detail that they do. And if anybody knows where I can get hold of glasses or bottles in 1/48 scale, please comment, because at the moment I'm struggling and I'm going to need them for this. I think that is going to be an absolute necessity to give this the kind of detail that I want. So that will be coming up soon. I've got the papers back, which is what has held me up. I was lacking my scrapbooking papers, and I've got them back now. So hopefully I can find something to do the inside of the Last Breath In, and we can build another brilliant building to go on my little dead end street. If you've been watching my videos, you will know this piece, which is my Easter table. So the Easter table set up, and it's my proof of concept. That's what you call it. It's a proof of concept, because the idea that I wanted to work on briefly, I did explain it all in the video on this table, was to take one piece of furniture and allow it to be changed for different holidays, different seasons, as the whim took me. Now, this piece just happened to be a handy piece I'd got in my collection, and I made a removable decorative piece. It was attached with some tacky wax, which you can see the residue in the corners. I have got to clear that off, I will be doing that shortly. And then this can now be stored away until next year. Well, I'll clear the rest of the wax off the back of this and then I'll put that away until next year. And it works really well. It's spent the last couple of weeks on a bookcase in my living room because I thought it would make quite a nice little seasonal decorative piece without it being in a doll's house, because it is self-contained. And as you might know, the doll's house doesn't really go with this kind of theme. But this proved that my idea works. And although I want to refine it a bit, because obviously I'm not necessarily going to be using a big piece of furniture like this. I might be using a smaller side table. It might be just on a piece in a bedroom, a piece in a hallway, whatever, but I can change it out when I feel like it. And if you didn't watch the video, all this is it's a piece of ribbon on a bit of cereal box, and it works. Just allows you to keep your seasonal decorative bits in place and things like that don't fall over, which is always a blessing. Now, I'm showing you this because I'm going to make another one. As I said, this was the sort of proof of concept and I want to refine it. And I've been playing about with ideas. I've been looking at what sort of decor things are appearing on YouTube. And I wasn't particularly feeling inspired. It's not really summer yet, so I don't really want anything too summery. And I just wasn't feeling the love. But then it occurred to me, we've got something going on in a couple of weeks that would make for a perfect little table decoration thingy. And that is the coronation. And it's going to give me an excuse to do something that's very British and patriotic, which isn't something you see very often, because we're far more reserved than, say, our American cousins, who do seem to like, you know, going for the entire, get the flags out, patriotic, brilliant. We tend to need a reason in the UK, and I think a coronation is a reason. And I think a little display, same size as this, will be perfect. I'm going to make another tiered tray and decorate that. I've got an idea for a piece that will go instead of my sort of Easter tree. That isn't my favourite part of it, I must admit. I do love that tiered tray, but you know, I've got an idea that could work, and I'm going to be doing that. And I need to get on with it because we haven't got very long. So I may have a go at the piece I want to do to go here later on today. I might even include it in this video. I will have a look and see how we're going on time, and might make a little quick make at the end of it. I do like putting little makes in these vlogs, but this is a piece that, because it's going to be very, very niche, it's going to be for an occasion that, well, we haven't had one for 70 years, so I know it's going to be a bit sooner when we have another one, simply because of the age of the monarch, but it's not really something that's for everybody. So I'm going to do it, put some photos on Facebook, which I do. I do put photos of works in progress over on my Facebook page. I know not everybody bothers with Facebook these days, but I've got the page. I'm going to use it. And then I will do a short to show it off over here. because I think that just showing you the final piece is going to be enough for most people, and hopefully it'll work out well. Fingers crossed. If not, well, what the heck, it's only miniatures. It isn't the end of the world if it goes wrong. Just because I've actually spotted these that I bought the other day, and they are tiny little spoons. Now, they might be a bit big for eating spoons at 1/12. I haven't actually measured them or anything, but they would make great serving spoons, especially with the little eyelet cut off the end. And I just couldn't resist because, well, they're perfect for the doll's house. Now, I am going to have a go at making this piece for my coronation table decor, and I'm going to make a little piece of topiary. Now, I've got, and they have got everywhere, I've got a selection of polystyrene or styrofoam balls that are sold in the craft store. This one is the one I've decided to go for. It's about 1 inch across, I think, looking at it. I will get a ruler out in a moment and check. I want something that's fairly significant. Now, I have got a little bit of a problem because I want to make a crown for the top, and I'm not sure whether to go with silver or gold. If I go with silver, I have got some silver cardstock about here. It's gold, I might have to dig about a bit more. But that's going to be my little plan, is just to make a little crown to go on top of my topiary. And I'm going to decorate the topiary with some jewels. But more about that in a moment. So if I move these out of the way before they go everywhere, because so far they have been going everywhere, I'll just keep the one I want. Now, the other thing I'm going to be using is a skewer. Now, at the moment my skewer is full skewer length, and that is because I haven't decided how tall I want this piece. I'm going to put it into a pot which is going to be made from one of my wooden beads. I bought them ages ago. They still keep going. That's a bit bigger, but I think a little bit of air dried clay and we can make anything work. Air dried clay or hot glue. And I want that piece, don't I? Now, so I'm going to put that aside. It will paint even though it's shiny. It'll just take a bit of gentle sanding to key so that you can actually get the paint to stick to it. With this, I'm going to just stick the skewer into the ball. You want it to be so that it sort of looks even when it's on there. Now I'm going to pull that back out again. And the ball is not going to and the ball's going to run round. And I'm going to get my glue. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blob of glue into there, and this doesn't want to work. Oh, it does. Put a good blob of glue into there. Now that won't actually have gone down very far because it's the nature of what happens when you put glue in, but I'm going to push that in and it'll push the glue all the way in, and that will make a strong bond. I'm just going to tidy this up for the moment because I don't want big blobs of glue, which I've got to cover with my moss. So my next step is going to be to make it green, and I'm using moss. Now, I could do this with the snow substitute that I used last year to do a bunny, but I don't really want that. I'm going to do it green, and I'm going to put the red, white and blue onto it. So I'm going to do that, and it is really, really simple. It's just time consuming, and it is a case of putting the glue on, sticking the moss on, moving on. So I'm going to do that off camera, because I think I've shown this several times before, but it is a technique that I love. And making these fake topiary is so easy, just has to be done sometimes. And then I'll come back and we can decorate it. I have covered my wall in moss. Now you can use the flocking that is used for ground cover. I've done that in the past, but I like using the actual moss because it gives more texture, and I think this is going to be good. Now, I'm not going to worry today about the stem and the pot, because I haven't decided what colour I want to paint the pot, and I want to do that before I put it together. And obviously I need to paint the stem, and I haven't decided how long I want it to be, which is why it's on a full skewer. But I am liking how it is coming together. So what I have done is I have made a crown. Now I found some gold metallic cardstock and I made a very simple crown. This is just a piece of the cardstock, and I actually used a paper punch, an edging punch that I bought years ago, and to be fair, I have not really used very much, but I remembered I'd got it and wondered if I'd got a nice sort of pointy piece, and I had. So I cut this, and then I have just moulded it around. It's actually a small glue stick I used, and stuck it together, and that has made a reasonable crown, and that is going to fit on the top of my topiary. And all I'm going to do to stick this on is I am just going to put some of my glue around the bottom of it. Now I'm not going to decorate this crown any further. I'm just going to leave it as a gold crown shape, but if you wanted to, you could obviously make it look even more crown-like than it is. So I'm just going to hold that in place for a few moments, and the glue has caught, and that is going to look pretty good. Yeah, I quite like that. The crown is white on the inside. I could have coloured it in. I don't feel the need to. It is not supposed to be a real crown. It's not supposed to look like it is actually gold. I just wanted something that sort of had a degree of majesty. Yeah, that sort of sounds quite good. And then that does actually now give me a front and a back, because I put the piece where I've glued it together at the back. Now to decorate this, I'm going to use some pearls. Now somewhere I have got some pearls that are coloured on all red, white and blue. They were bought as a set, red, white and blue, probably in around about 2012. Yeah, I don't know where they are. I'm not worrying. I have instead got these, which I've coloured. And what I've done is I took a red and a blue. I've used Brilliant Blue and Deep Red, and they're alcohol markers, and they have coloured these quite nicely. They're not brilliant, but again, this isn't a piece that is for anything other than my own personal enjoyment. Yeah, and it's going to be back on the bookshelf in the living room once it's done, and on the table, just for that brief period when we can be patriotic and celebrate the coronation. So I'm going to stick these on. I'm going to use some glue. Now these are self-adhesive, but I tend to find that the glue that's on the back of them is not consistent. I've got some here where the pearls have come off and they've left the glue behind, so I don't want that. So I'm going to take my glue, decide where I want to put one. Somewhere like that. I am going to take one. I'll take a white one to start off with. And just pop that on there. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to put the others on. Now I've sort of budgeted, allowed for 4 of each. I may do another couple. I have got enough to do another couple of each if I want to, which would be 12, which would be adequate, but we shall see. And here we have my patriotic topiary ready to go in a pot and feature on my coronation table. And if you want to see that completed table, as I said before, keep an eye on the channel. There will be a short featuring it. Or if you're on Facebook, follow the link in the description box to the Gothic Unicorn and follow the page, because it will be appearing on the page very, very soon. Now I hope you've enjoyed this video, even though it has been somewhat different. I sort of made it up as we went along again, but it happens. If you have, please like, comment and subscribe. It all helps my channel. And if you want to know when I upload a video, hit the notification bell and YouTube will let you know. I try to upload every week, usually on a Friday, but never say never, because real life does get in the way of minis sometimes. But until next time, bye.